Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing really well. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a little get ready with me Q&A. I have a ton of products here in front of me. They're mostly in my Shop My Stash for January, and then there's some products that I'm just like trying to work my way through, and then a couple products that are from my Partners in Cream Project Pan. I'm not particularly going to talk about the products that I'm using today. What I'm actually going to do is go through a little bit of a Q&A. So I put on my community tab that I was interested in maybe doing something like this if you were interested in it. And I did get a handful of questions, so let's just go through all of the questions and let's get ready for the day. So yeah, let's just hop on into it. Also, my brushes are absolutely filthy and I'm going to wash them immediately after filming this video because I have just not had the motivation until today. So I have to clean them. They're bad. So I have all the questions here on my phone. I'm just gonna go through them. The first question here is, what is the first trip you would want to take when COVID is all settled / over with? So there are a lot of places I'd like to go, a lot of things I'd like to do. I think the first place I'd really like to go would be Australia. I was really hoping to be able to do that in 2021. It was something that I'd been kind of thinking about, but obviously it's not going to happen maybe for a couple years now. But I really want to go to Australia. I have extended family that lives there. My brother lives there as well. And so I'd really like to go and be with family and to see the absolutely beautiful scenery. I've never been to Australia. That's probably number one because that was kind of like on my list as the next place to go anyways. But realistically, I don't know that I'd be able to go to Australia right away just because I am now saving for a house. And that is going to be my priority when it comes to my finances. So I think the most realistic place that I would probably go once this is all over is to the east coast of Canada. I really want to go to the Maritimes. I went every summer when I was a kid almost to Nova Scotia, and I miss it. It's so beautiful in Nova Scotia, and I want to see more of the Maritimes in a way that I've never done before because I was obviously a kid. I didn't enjoy it quite as much as I probably would now. And I think that would be probably the next trip we would go on. It would be a little bit more economical. And it's something that I know Patrick really wants to do as well. He would like to see it because I know his family was from there as well. So yeah, I think that would be the most realistic option. But Australia is definitely on the top of my list too. But I am just kind of taking it one day at a time right now, and we'll see whatever will be, right? We'll see. The next question was, what is one weird / unique talent / skill that you have? I honestly don't know. I asked this of Patrick last night, my boyfriend. I asked him, what is a weird talent / skill that I have? And he's like, you're an artist? And I'm like, I don't know that that's a weird talent or skill. And also, I'm not an artist anymore. Like, I don't really draw anymore in the way that I used to. I don't really create, but I think I just have kind of moved that to makeup and to video editing, and a lot of things in my studies do take away like a little bit of my creative time. Not away, but they kind of eat into that. So makeup has been like my creative outlet, and photography has been, and so I don't draw anymore, and I wouldn't say that's a weird skill anyways. I don't know, I feel like at one point I probably could have been like, yeah, I have this specific skill, but I don't know. I sound so lame, but I don't know. I really don't know what is like a unique skill that I have. I'm pretty good at making food. That is a pretty damn impressive skill if I do say so myself. Like, I'm super happy with my cooking efforts. I just love cooking. So I think that that takes up a lot of my brain space as well. The next question was, what are some of my tips for low or no buys? And it was saying, besides budgeting, what are just some nice tips? And I've never been successful in a low or no buy, actually. I have tried it a handful of times. I'll tell myself, like, I am not purchasing any makeup for this period of time. And somehow I always end up breaking it or justifying breaking it. And this time around, I think what is going to make me successful is I've unsubscribed from basically any beauty brand's emails. That really will help me, I think, because I won't feel compelled by any new launches. I also have I've muted a lot of brands on Instagram from my stories and from my feed, but I still follow them because like I still want to show them that support, I suppose, and like I want to be able to go back to them and see what they have. But yeah, I've muted some brands just because they have some very severe constant launches, and I don't feel like I want to be constantly berated by new products. I also think that doing a makeup inventory will really help with doing a no-buy, because that way you can really get to know what is in your collection and see what you have. And through project panning for the last few years, I've come to understand how long it takes me to use up products. And for that, I don't really have any interest in bringing anything new into my life and into my collection right now. So now that I know exactly what I have and how long they take me to use, as well as what is driving me to do a no-buy, is more so related to the impact that I would create with just hoarding and collecting makeup. So having that as the priority as opposed to like a monetary reason to do a no-buy, I think that's really helped to motivate me as well. I feel like I just jumped a million different directions through that answer, but so knowing what you have, what you already currently own, and how long it's going to take to use it up is probably number one. Number two would be to unfollow things that may tempt you, or brands that may tempt you, and sales that may tempt you. Just like remove that from the equation. And then the last one would be like understand why you're doing a no-buy. So if it's monetary, then you know you have to keep checking in with yourself, like how much money am I saving? And if it's environmental, like myself personally, then just like every time I shop my stash, I look into my drawers and I'm like, oh my God, this is so much waste. This is so much garbage. So it all is a matter of like knowing what is driving you. This next question is interesting. It's something I've like never ever considered for myself or for other creators. It is, how has your social life changed since starting YouTube? I'm referring to pre-COVID times. I know since everyone is on lockdown, it's kind of expected people won't be as social. That is interesting. I have never once thought about that. How has my life changed since starting YouTube, my social life? I would say it really hasn't changed. Perhaps I've become a little bit more confident. I feel like I used to be a very, very shy person. I was very introverted, and I don't really think that I spent a ton of time hanging out with people. I have a very small group of friends, and I don't really tend to want to hang out all that often. I do go to parties and like go to bars and stuff, and those are, you know, select times. It's not every single day of the week by any means. But my social life, I would say as a whole, didn't really change once I started my YouTube channel, because I do try to film during the daytime, which is like when I like to be at home by myself anyways, if I can be. Yeah, maybe I've become a little bit more confident in like just talking to new people, or I honestly, yeah, it's something I need to reflect on. Here's another question semi-related to that, and that is, how do you see your future on YouTube? I honestly think I just want to keep creating content in the same capacity that I'm doing now, maybe a little bit more frequent uploads, just because I am starting my semester again in 2 days, so I won't be uploading too much during my semester, but once I'm done school, I kind of want to be back on that like 2 to 3 days a week sort of train. I don't ever foresee myself being a full-time YouTuber. No interest in that personally. I'd like to see my channel grow if possible, but I am also super happy with the little space that I have here now, and the little community I have. I feel really fortunate that everyone is super amazing and really respectful. I don't want to do this full time. I want this to just continue to be a hobby of mine. I don't particularly want my channel to be fully Project Pan based, but I'd like to see myself move towards including more food content. I just, again, don't have the brain space while I'm in school, but I will hopefully, especially when we have our own, like, we have our own kitchen, but like when we have a house with a nice kitchen, I'd like to do some more food content. So like some recipes and maybe just share some food products that I'm enjoying. Oh my gosh, this is so overexposed, by the way. Sorry. I love painting furniture and like fixing up furniture. So I'd love to incorporate some of that kind of stuff. Some more like crafty kind of home stuff when we do purchase a house. I'd love to incorporate that on my channel. But I want to just keep this as like my space where I can speak about what's on my mind and what's important to me, and I'd like to just keep building a little bit of my community, or like strengthening the community that I already have. I just feel super fortunate to have this little space where I can just sit down and chat with all of you. It's a really special thing, and I don't want to ruin that, and I don't want to lose that, but I don't want to make it a career either. Everyone asked some really great questions. This question's super interesting too. So what are some makeup looks slash techniques that you love but don't wear, at least not publicly, because they're too out there? Nothing, in my opinion, is too out there. It's just a matter of what I feel like suits me, I guess, or that I'm able to do, like I have the technical skills to do. Yeah, makeup for me, I'm totally comfortable with experimenting and trying something out, and maybe it doesn't suit me or it doesn't flatter me or it doesn't like enhance a certain feature of mine, but I'll still have fun with it and just feel comfortable in it. But some techniques that I don't do are cut creases. I don't do them because I just don't have the technical skills, nor do I feel like I have the lid space for them. My eyes are so small that whenever I try to do a cut crease kind of technique, it's just lost. And then my eyes are also hooded, so it's completely lost. It's just not worth the effort, in my opinion. I like things that look a little bit more melded together, a little less structured, because of my eye shape and because of my small eyes and because of my skills. So that is definitely one. Another one that I spoke about recently that I don't like on me, but I do tend to really enjoy on other people, and again, I think it's pertaining to my skills, is like a gradient or like ombre lip. Every time I try to do it, and I used to rock them very frequently, probably like 8 years ago. I would literally use a black eyeliner on the corners and then do like a dark red on the inner portion of my lips, and I loved that then. I can't do it, like that super light look in the middle of the lips and then like a darker kind of more contouring kind of brown. I can't do it. It does not suit me, and maybe that's because my lips are also not symmetrical. I have like this weird, not weird, it just is what it is, but like right here, this part is not symmetrical, and so I feel like it kind of emphasizes that. But again, it's just pertaining to my face shape. That's why I feel like I can't really use that kind of technique. And earlier this week, I wore false lashes, and it really solidified for me that they're just not for me. So I think I'm gonna try to work my way through all the falsies that I have and use them, you know, on occasion. But I think I've really come to realize they're just not for me. Again, it has to do with the fact that I have very small eyes, so I always have to cut them, and I can never really get them to be exactly right. And they always make my eyes look kind of downturned, even though they're not. Like, they're very even across. And I put on lashes, and I feel like they like really bring the outer corner down, where I'm trying to like generally lift that outer corner because my eyes are hooded the most out there. So yeah, these are things that I love seeing on other people. Like, I love looks with lashes on other people. And on me, I can't seem to apply them properly. I can't get them to make sense for me at all either. So unfortunately, it's just something I can't do. The next question is, what is your favorite part about makeup? And for me, it really is that expression and that fun and that creativity without the commitment, I guess. I really enjoy that. I love that every single person can have, you know, the same arsenal of products. Not that we all should. We should all definitely just use whatever we want, but like we could all have like a kit of makeup and use all of it in a totally different way, and it looked totally different because of our personal preferences, our own techniques, our own application, all that kind of stuff. Every single person can use it in a different way, and I love that. Like, personally, I mean, the base I just wore is a combination of the BareMinerals Complexion Rescue in 2 different shades, and then I mixed in the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector, like the liquid one. And I mean, if somebody else had those 3 products, they might use them in a totally different way, maybe not cocktail them, but use the highlighter as more of like a targeted highlight afterwards. And I think that that is just so fun. Like, makeup doesn't have rules. And I'm not very good with rules. So I do think that that's what is very alluring to me about makeup, is the fact that, yeah, it's a matter of interpretation, I think. The actual products and the actual application is a matter of interpretation. And I love reimagining my products. And I love that you all suggest as well, like, ways to reimagine products and to get use out of them. And that's what really draws me into project panning as a whole as well, is like that multi-purposing kind of mindset, because you don't want to have a mass of products that can all work in the same way, but in fact how to maximize your products. I think that that is just my favorite thing about makeup in general. It's just, yeah, there's something so comforting and exciting about that. This next question is, what are brands that are hard to get a hold of in Canada that you wish were more accessible? If I'm entirely honest, I've kind of stopped online shopping in the capacity that I used to, so I'm not entirely sure like what's available anymore. Just to be entirely honest. But one brand that comes to mind for sure is Nabla Cosmetics, and I really want to try more of their eyeshadows eventually. I don't really feel compelled to have any new eyeshadows in my life at the moment, but that is something that I'd like to try more of. Their Soul Blooming palette is the one that I own right now, and I freaking adore it. I think it's just the most beautiful, beautiful eyeshadow formula. I want to try more, and I would like to try more from the brand collectively as well, not just the eyeshadow formulas. So that's one that comes to mind. I know that they do ship to Canada, but I just feel like there's not really any retailers that are Canadian based that do offer Nabla, but maybe you have some more insight into that, so let me know. And another brand that comes to mind is Mented Cosmetics, and I haven't checked their site in a little while just because I am currently on my no buy and I'm trying to like not tempt myself, so I'm just avoiding doing some online shopping, and instead I'm trying to, again, go for hikes and make dinners and stuff like that instead. But Mented Cosmetics definitely has caught my eye, and they're a brand that I think only ship in the USA. So I would love to try them. Their products look absolutely beautiful, and their inclusivity is at their core. They're a Black-owned brand, and they do have some products that could work for, I think, everyone. Like, they are just so well-rounded. Their selection of products is also really good in terms of like they have basically a full face of makeup as well. So I'd really like to try them. Another brand that I want to, now I guess we're just talking about brands that I want to try, but I also am super interested in Plain Jane Beauty, but when I wanted to purchase a few items from them, the shipping to Canada was just ridiculous. So just not accessible to me in a way that I can justify, so I haven't tried them yet. So those are probably the top 3 that come to mind. The next question I have here are, what are your thoughts on the law change in China regarding animal testing? I'm gonna be honest with you, I think a lot of us are in this moment where we're a little bit unsure. And my decision to do my no buy this year wasn't influenced by this, but I am fortunate I'm doing a no buy right now because I can spend more time researching this. So it feels very unclear. I watched a video from Khaki Reviews Beauty where she talked about what it means for her. And it didn't seem clear to me, but it was definitely insightful at the same time. Like I didn't really feel like I got any sort of concrete thoughts in my head about how it would make me feel, but it clarified things for me. So in order to eliminate animal testing, companies kind of have to pave their own path for that, I guess. And so that'll be more so spearheaded by larger corporations, I believe. So I don't know what that means for us as consumers right now, and I don't know what that means for me and how to interpret it yet. I honestly don't. I feel like it's really overwhelming and confusing and just so unclear even still. I think, of course, I want to see a world where everything, like animal testing is never ever required for something like cosmetics. But I just, I don't know how to feel about the whole thing yet, quite honestly. So I'm gonna keep sticking to the brands that I know and trust, and I'm not going to let this really influence the way that I purchase yet until I feel like there's more clarity and more structure in and against animal testing policies in China. I'm really fortunate to be doing I Know By right now though, because I do think a lot of people were like, well, such and such brand is gonna finally be cruelty free, and then they're just gonna purchase from some brands that they wouldn't have otherwise purchased from, and I don't know. I don't know what that means for me yet. I'm gonna really be analytical about what comes into my life and who I choose to support, and I'm glad to have this little bit of time to really reflect and figure that out. I think I might be already at the last question. So this last question is favorite overall makeup brand and favorite recipe. Overall makeup brand, is it weird that at this moment, perhaps because I'm doing a low buy, no buy sort of situation, but also I'm just feeling like there's so much that has come out about every single brand as of late. I don't feel any sort of brand connection to anyone. I have fallen in love with Alma Beauty recently, and that's because I have the concealer and the eyeshadow palette, but I can't say it's an overall favorite brand because I haven't tried enough from them. But wow, am I loving that brand. I'm loving everything about them. The inclusivity, the product performance, like everything about that, I'm so into and so impressed with. Personally, I just haven't tried enough from many brands to be able to consider a brand like a true favorite. Like I've tried a lot of products from Charlotte Tilbury because I did buy the mystery box this year, but they are far from my favorite brand. In fact, I'm not purchasing anything else from Charlotte Tilbury probably ever again. I'm just gonna have to pause here on this really great shot to quickly say that I did record this video actually last Saturday, so a week before you're seeing this video, and I hadn't known the news about Charlotte Tilbury still continuing or like moving back into the Chinese market. So everything that I'm saying reigns even more true than what I even knew. I'm so over the brand. I'm over it. I'm gonna keep using what I have, but I'm literally just so done with that brand. And I used to really like a handful of products from Becca, but I haven't tried enough from them. And again, it's just a brand, like so much is coming out about them. I don't really feel interested in supporting them anymore. BareMinerals, I have a handful of products from as well, and it's a brand that I'd like to explore more because it's a brand that I've really, really enjoyed and really come to appreciate the products that I have from them. Colourpop is on my shit list for sure. I have so many Colourpop products, so at one point they probably were my favorite brand, but they ain't anymore. They ain't it, that's for sure. Wow, is this video just me telling you all that I have no opinion on anything? I feel like that's the theme of today's video. I don't really have an opinion and I don't really know. I'm just here, just like all of you. No one knows, no one has the answers, you know? We're just making it through day by day. That's my life right now. I have this feeling where I feel very indifferent about makeup and a disconnect from makeup at the moment. I love applying it. I love putting on a full face of makeup. The like ritual of using my makeup and reaching for the things that I have, I adore. But the idea of acquiring more or having any sort of like connection to brands, I just don't feel like that's something that is important to me. And then the second part of that question is favorite recipe. Ooh, lots of faves. And I literally never make the same thing. I never make the same recipe the same every time. Does that make, wait, what? Any recipe I make, I always change it the next time I do it based on like how it was the first time around. So the same with makeup. I never do the same makeup look twice. I might be influenced by a makeup look that I did before, but I do it with different products or with a slightly different technique or different colors. Same with recipes. I will do them once and then I will alter them based on that experience and based on what I have in my fridge. So my favorite recipes as a whole come from the Vegan Comfort Classics by Hot for Food, Lauren Toyota. I love the nacho cheese sauce from that recipe. Oh my God, it's so good. And I've changed it to like make it not spicy, but to like use it as just like a cheese dip for other things. And I think tonight I'm actually going to make a cheese sauce based on that recipe, but without potatoes. I'm going to do it with cauliflower because that's what I have. I love the cauliflower wings from that recipe, or it's a cauliflower burger, but I make it into wings. So that is probably a hands down favorite. And then one of my favorite things to just make in general is mushroom gravy, and I make it different literally every single time as well. So, no specific recipes. They're all alterations, but those are probably my favorite things to make. I love making vegan alternatives for comfort foods or for just like generally some of my favorite foods. Like when I was growing up, I loved shepherd's pie. I still love shepherd's pie. And when I went vegetarian, I was like, how am I going to eat shepherd's pie? How am I going to do that? And I found ways to do it pre all of these like meat alternatives being more common on the market. And now I make it vegan in so many different ways as well. So I will take like black beans and quinoa and mushrooms for the base, or I'll use like the Light Life ground beef, or I'll use TVP. I'll use whatever I have on hand to make a shepherd's pie. And yes, okay, I went on a tangent. I know this video was maybe a bit of a chaotic mess. I really hope I can edit it in a way that is clear and has some sort of consistency, because I jumped from topic to topic and I answered questions really that weren't even questions that anyone asked, but I do appreciate you asking some questions of me. I really enjoyed doing this and reflecting, and I really want to open up a dialogue. That's something I should answer in the what do I see in the future of my YouTube channel. I want to open up more of a dialogue where we have discussions that are more in depth than just talking about like how I got use out of a product. Project panning for me is it is really the crucial core of my channel, but I do want to open up more. I do want to be more diverse in what I talk about. Wow. And I want to be able to show you more of me as a person. I do feel like just in general in life, I am a little bit more closed off. I can be opinionated, but that doesn't mean I'm vocal about it. And so I want to be able to be more open and have conversations with you that perhaps, you know, maybe are more difficult conversations to have or whatever. And I don't know how to get to that point with my channel, because I am a little bit skeptical that things may be taken the wrong way, or I don't know how to speak to things because I'm just not well versed in it. But yeah, there are definitely conversations outside of just using up makeup that I think we should have. And like there's nothing that comes to mind in this exact moment, but I would like to be able to have a more open dialogue and to be more of an open person with you as well. I really want to thank every single one of you for being here and for just spending a little bit of your time with me. It's super amazing, and I'm so fortunate and thankful that you do give that little bit of energy to me. And yeah, that's everything for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone.